Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the October 2025 Bolivar Board of Education meeting. At this time, we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Blair, do we have some guests with us this evening here? We do.
Let me introduce, you guys come up now, the just returning from state girls golf team. I'll let them right in the middle.
Right up front.
That's where they like you. Where they like you. So I'll let them introduce themselves in a second, but I do want to tell you, I believe, Kim, the best, do what?
This way.
Well, don't face toward each other. That would be the wrong way. But this way or that way would be fine. I believe, correct, the highest finish in school history, 6th place as a team, and then Delaney Daniels finished second under very challenging conditions that me and Dr. Methvin can speak to. I would got to be 40 or 55 mile an hour wind gust. It was rough as a spectator. I can't imagine it as a participant.
I'm glad no limbs were falling.
Wait, I would have canceled my tea time. Let's put it that way.
100%. It was rough, and they absolutely persevered. So, ladies, if you don't care, introduce yourselves.
Oh, I'm Delaney Daniels. I'm Caitlin Berry. I'm JC Cranston. I'm Jerry Anderson. Kim Cripps.
So yeah, had a great day. We got down there and got to watch some of it, but like I said, even their day 2 I think was a little better, but it sounded like the wind wasn't just great then as well. Do you know what the highest gust was? It had to be 40, 50. I mean, it was unbelievable.
I would say 40 to 50 the first day and probably 20 to 30 the second day.
Kind of makes your putting game a little more challenging, doesn't it? When you got a whole bunch of leaves blowing across the green, and they fought through it though. They had a great season. Fantastic.
I'd lost 5 sleeves of balls and never made the green.
And maybe put a putter in the
Just
pond.
walk it over and drop it in the
That's
hole.
Girls, I don't know all of you. Would you tell us your grade and what the best thing about the season was for each of you? Delaney, you can go first.
Leading off.
No pressure, Delaney.
Okay, I'm a senior, and the best part was probably when we all realized that we had like one district, because it was kind of back and forth between us and Central the whole day. And so when we all found out, we all met up and gave each other like a big group hug, and it was so precious.
That's awesome.
I'm a senior, and probably just getting to spend time with them, like in the van rides. I'm a junior, and I agree with her. Just getting to grow closer is just always the best with the bonds. I'm a sophomore, and I just really enjoyed the season, like getting to know them and like form like a family with them, and it was just my favorite of all time.
What grade are you in?
What year?
She's in 5th grade.
What year in the classroom are you?
This is year 25.
Wow.
So, girls, I happened to be listening to the radio yesterday evening, and who was on the radio? Yes, and your coach has I was telling her, a great radio voice. Great radio voice. So we're very proud of you. You girls, do you 3 want to hear a funny story about Delaney real quick? Real quick. Okay. So last year, your mom and dad aren't here? They know the story. No, not last year. Delaney was at Little Liberators, okay? How long ago was that? So I used to dress up as Santa Claus for the district many years ago. How many years ago? Delaney was at Little Liberators. And I walked in Little Liberators, and the little kids were there, and they were scared out of their minds because those kids are so small, like Santa's still scary at that point. You know, so there's about 10 or 12, and they were all scared. No, they weren't all scared, Coach Thompson. Guess who wasn't scared? So Santa comes in and sits down, and and the helpers there were trying to get the kids to get up close and everything. And who marches right up to Santa Claus? Delaney Daniels. And she puts her arm like on my knee. Well, hi, Santa. My name's Delaney. And I mean, she spoke like she was 10 years old and had a whole list of what she wanted for Christmas. That was Delaney at whatever, 3, maybe?
Probably.
3 years old, maybe at that time.
Any golf
And-
stuff at that time?
And
on that list?
you know, there may have been. There may have been. But I've told, how many times have I reminded you of that story?
Every time you see me.
Yeah.
Tis the season.
Tis the season, that's right. So anyhow, well, congratulations, Coach. Thank you for doing a great job. Thanks for coming tonight.
Thanks for representing us. Yes.
All right, we have some commendations about, in regard to what's been going on, the many, many activities. Mr. Womack, would you take the first half of these for us?
Okay, do I go down through Bolivar Middle School?
If you'll
Is
do
that
high
right?
school and middle school.
Yes, okay.
Thank you.
So this is our Liberator Success Spotlight, and we have congratulations to the following Liberator students, teams, and groups. So Bolivar High School, as you just heard, the girls golf won districts for the first time in school history. They placed 6th at state, which is also a record finish. Delaney Daniels placed 2nd in state, and Abby Anderson placed 11th in the state tournament. Don't do that. Girls tennis, #1 doubles team, advanced to the state. And then girls golf and girls tennis are Ozark Mountain Conference champions. Speech and debate earned the leading chapter award in the Ozark District, named top 100 school in the nation out of more than 3,000 programs. Then in Bolivar Middle School, thank you to the BMS Pride Parent Organization and to Byron and Jera Shive for providing a delicious lunch for our staff on September the 29th. Your generosity and support are truly valued. Thank you for celebrating and caring for our team.
All right, in the intermediate school, a huge thank you to Trent Drake and Drake Farms for hosting 200 fifth graders last week. He allowed them to come out and see the harvesting process and ask questions around what they learned during the ELA unit on natural resources. We're extremely thankful for community partners that help us take learning outside the classroom. Thank you so much to our PTA for providing snacks for teachers during parent-teacher conferences. And in the Bolivar Primary School, huge thank you to Ed Kurtz for entertaining first grade students as Johnny Appleseed for the 30th year. Johnny brings an apple for each of the students. It's a special thanks to the Kurtz family for the donation of almost 300 apples. And I know my little first grader was sure happy to bring home that apple and cut it open, see what's in it, and took me back to when I got to see Johnny not so long ago. Thank you also to Highland Dairy for providing ice cream to over 800 guests at the BPS Grandparents Night. This is made possible thanks to Mr. Jervis, District Manager for Highland, and parent to Senior Cole Jervis. Thank you to Bolivar FFA student Cabry Rowe and her family for bringing goats and chickens to the BPS Grandparents Night. BPS students enjoyed interacting with the animals. Thank you to our district maintenance team for pouring a new basketball pad for the kindergarten playground. They do a great job in all of our buildings, and we're very thankful for them. And the children have loved having that basketball court. Then over at ECLC, thank you to Southwest Electric Co-op for sponsoring a staff breakfast on our last PED day. Thank you to the Polk County Health Department for coming in and hosting health lessons to some of our daycare and preschool classes. They also completed infant and toddler CPR and first aid training to all of our Little Liberator daycare teachers.
Thank you, Mr. Womack and Mr. Ligon, for reading those. A lot going on, busy times here in the district. Okay, next we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented with the exclusion of check number 25248.
So moved.
Do we have a second, Jill? Thank you. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And we need a motion to approve check number 25248 to Coral Supply.
So moved. Second.
We'll get Drew and Brad on the second.
Ms. Lane.
Oh, Lynn?
Lynn and Brad.
All right, got that right. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. All right, Dr. Methvin, moving on to
Okay, jumping
CSIP updates.
Yeah, to our CSIP updates and reports. Leading off tonight, we have the dynamic duo from Bolivar Intermediate School. Mr. Ash and Mrs. Miller are going to give us an update on all the learning activities that are happening at BIS.
Yes.
Welcome.
So, a lot going on. Just wrapped up parent-teacher conferences this week. So, one of the things we want to kind of talk to you about tonight, we're going to look at some upcoming events, but really one of the things we want to spotlight is just the work of our title services team, just the intervention services that go on in our building, and just the heavy load that they do carry. And so, that's really where I want to kind of focus a lot of that around. So, some upcoming events we do have it coming up here in November. Crazy, we're about to November, but we've got our 5th grade music program. That'll be the 20th, and our fall parties will kick off on the 21st.
We also have our 3 areas of emphasis that we're focusing on. We're learning with each other in our PLC community. We're also refining some of our practices so that we grow and continue our positive and safe learning environments, and we're trying to lead out and creating some more quality and Tier 1 instruction opportunities for our kids.
Take that one.
Title I is a federally funded program, intervention program. I like to think of it as a way to catch our kids who are struggling, to find those gaps, build those gaps, and hopefully get them back into the classroom.
The classroom teachers will do things at what we call Tier 1 level. They use the regular curriculums. This is our 2nd year with Benchmark. Then we have a few kids that just need a little bit extra.
Small group, intense instruction. So we can provide them with targeted reading interventions that are evidence-based. A lot of these kids are coming to us 2 years below reading level. So we have got to close those gaps. And that is through these targeted interventions that we do in here.
I tell kids when they come to me, I'm like, my room is, I've got time to go over things that you've practiced before, but maybe you didn't remember. Kind of like sports. Some things you need more practice on. So we have the time to practice in here, and then that way that helps them in the classroom to fill in those gaps.
Skip count to find out how many sticks there are in all. Let's count together. Ready? 10.
This week we're doing comprehension. Next week we'll do word work. But we've got passages that we read. We stop along the way. We use the context to work on the vocabulary. We look for the prefixes and suffixes and how to break the words down.
When the kids come in here, everybody's at different levels. So I have some kids working on place value. I have some working on word problems. Some are adding numbers. Some are multiplying numbers. So I'm checking in with each student. I'm kind of in the middle of my horseshoe, and I'm traveling between kids. I'm checking in with them as they're working independently.
We do a lot of word work. We focus on letters and sounds. We do some crossing the midline. We do some exercises to make those connections between the 2 halves of the brain. We do spelling. We do markups, which is, if you think about reading, it's kind of like breaking a code. So all of those activities are multi-sensory. Anything multi-sensory I can do, it helps cement those skills.
Glue. Make sure you tap it out to get all of your sounds.
Access times are new this year. They said, hey, we have time, we want to be a tool for you, and we want to support you. So that's when they started coming up with the access times, and it was just a little bit of extra time that they're able to spend with students that she's not able to pull out. She's able to come into our classroom and not only work with those students, but other students in the classroom as well.
What did you come up with for 6 times 7?
I think they feel more confident whenever she's in here because she is still sitting and working alongside them, and they are still able to answer whole group conversations and have those when, if she's not in here, they might not feel as confident.
What do we have, Harper? We have 2.
A vowel team.
Very good. We have the vowel team.
We see the kids go through the aha stages. It's kind of fun because they'll gain confidence and then they'll be able to, okay, that text is longer, but I can do this because I was able to do that one.
Especially with those foundational skills, we are getting the kids reaching their goals. at the end of the year. They know how to decode. They know those vowel sounds. Once they start seeing this process and getting that process down, they are realizing, I can do this. I can read these hard, longer words.
We don't want to put them right back into the classroom. We don't want frustration. We want to try the middle ground, and then our hope is to get them back into the regular classroom. And yes, I have had those students that do that, and it's a great feeling. I'm probably more excited about it than they are, to be honest.
Yeah, so you can see there the amazing work that they do. Just some data to kind of back up all the amazing things you saw there. I mean, just looking at students served, we serve 173 students in ELA and another 77 in math with a wait list of 32 on that. We have one math interventionist that's working. We have 3 working with ELA. Part of the big heavy lift that's gone on across elementary and even kind of working its way into middle school now is looking at RSPs, reading success plans. And so that's a heavy lift that they have picked up over the last 2 years. But I really want to look at some year-to-year data. That's one of the things just really wanted to celebrate. Looking at the fall 24-25, we had 91 third graders come in on RSPs, and this year we had 59 come in. And that speaks, I think, hugely not just to what our intervention services are doing, but what BPS is doing as well. I mean, we look at the amount that came in, and so the work that they're doing, if you look at that through cohort, 91 of them came in, and as 4th graders, only 66 flagged. And so we're reducing those numbers. You saw a drop of 32 in 3rd grade, 18 in 4th grade, and 33 in 5th grade. And so we've taken 85 students this year off reading success plans because they worked out. And so that's a huge thing that's attributed to not just quality Tier 1 instruction, but those Tier 2 gaps are getting closed by interventionists. So just can't say enough about the work they're doing. So.
Good work.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any questions for our BIS team? Appreciate the work that entire team is doing, and obviously they are a strong PLC culture and really working together and collaborating at high levels and focusing on learning results at the end of the day. And you can see it that they're moving kids along the continuum. So kudos to the entire team, and thanks to both of you for jumping in and helping to continue to support and challenge them to keep growing and improving and supporting students.
Thanks for
Thank
your
you.
leadership.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
All right, next up, we have our annual program update from our guidance counseling services team. And I believe we have Jennifer Farrell and Sandy Simpson are here to give us an update. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
So you kind of got the bookends tonight. So down at the primary school and the high school. And I don't know, we don't usually have we don't have the same job, but all we do, we're there for the kids.
And just seeing how everybody works together and getting them from the little guys up through the high school and watching them go on to do what they're supposed to do after us. So just kind of working as a team for that. So.
And I don't know that Jennifer's had the privilege of having everybody's either kids or grandkids here at the table, or nieces. But I have.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
had
pretty
everybody's
much
kids
everybody
here.
yes.
So we were just going to kind of introduce you to the different staff. We know you already have the reports. I don't know. Oh, thanks.
Okay, yeah, we've
We're
got
gonna
both
take care of us here. So Stacy Baker is the other counselor in the primary school. She is the best team member you could ever have. We're really focusing on getting the students and their parents ready for school in the school system, what the expectations are. We know they've got a long education road ahead of them, and we're just trying to get them as prepared socially, whether it's peers, friends, teachers, whatever that comes into what we need for them. And then you have Sonia Watson and Chantel Gamlin at the intermediate school. So our programs, we shift and continue on between the primary school. They're just building on at the intermediate school. Hopefully we've given them those steps they need to continue on to be successful.
And then moving on, middle school, Casey Sawyer and Dustin Davis have both been there several years, Casey especially. And as middle school, as we all know, is a tough emotional stage and developmental stage. They do a lot, especially I think they probably work the hardest of all of our buildings with the emotional needs. But they also do a great job really preparing kids coming into high school, thinking about what are they wanting to focus on, different areas of interests there. They've got a lot of good groups and things going on with them. And then high school, we are very blessed to have 4 of us, and really focusing on college and career is a big focus, especially as we know from DESE, but also just with the stage that we are with high school kiddos. And that is really our big push right now, 9 through 12, and helping the students do some research, doing experiences, finding out what they might want to do with their life and how we can support them there. So just to share a quick success story that not really from our counseling team, but Ashley Clift, who works really closely with us on the career and technical. I asked her today, how many kids do we have placed in the BOMO Works program at this time? I knew it was a lot. I did not know we had 42 kids out working in the community through that. And I think that that's not a high school thing. That's an all the way through helping kids figure out what they want to do, and some pretty awesome opportunities for kids going on into careers because of what we can do in the schools. So it's pretty neat.
And piggyback off what's going on at the high school, they have the A+ program. And what's really enjoyable for me right now is all the kids coming back into the primary building doing the A+. I have 2 mentors myself that are working in my office. But just seeing the kids that, just watching them be so successful and getting to talk to them about how they've went through the district, and now they're back in the building contributing to the newest liberators. So that's really kind of in a nutshell what we do. We take care of K through 12.
Yep. And whatever those needs may be, but really trying to help them just preparing for life and going on. One other thing that I was thinking about sharing with you, it felt for a long time, probably you all noticed, that we were stuck in COVID for a lot of years. And I really feel like watching our kids, we're really coming out of that. I've noticed that with this senior class all the way through, but suddenly we're back to getting all the dual credit, getting, really focusing on what they want to do. Not so many wanting to just be at home and online and not at school, and it's a pretty neat thing to see. I kind of say sometimes like they're back. The kids are back and living life again, and it's a good thing to see. So. Did you all have any questions for us? Or? Okay.
I've seen what they both do and what everybody does firsthand. I know how successful my daughter is and how well Jackson's doing, so I appreciate you guys, all 4 buildings.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for everything that you do.
And thank you all for your support. We know things are tough sometimes, and we appreciate the support that you give all of us, too. So.
And we're invested. Our kids have both come through the district. Grandkids.
Grands are coming through the district. So we're trying to keep you all in business. So.
I tell you, this team does a phenomenal job of collaborating from, kindergarten through senior year, and really helping to hand the baton as students transition from one building to the next, making sure that the support is in place, that they're ready for those students to step in and be successful, and that goes a lot. It goes back to, again, just the culture of collaboration and really being focused on one team, one mission. And so thank you for your leadership and for everything you do to support students.
Thank you.
There's 2 groups of folks in schools that when students have a need that's not directly classroom related, they go to the nurse or they go to the counselor. And so for somebody who worked in schools for so long, you have so many come to you with such a wide variety of questions, needs, problems, and so just a collective thank you for all that you've done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, team.
Thank you.
All right, so next up from our program updates, we have our Professional Development Committee, and we have both Heather Sitton and Jonna Taylor, who serve on that team and help to lead that group as we make sure that our staff has the support that they need in continuous learning and growth as we look ahead. So thank you both for being here today and for your leadership and providing today's update.
Thanks for having us. So like you said, I'm Heather Sitton. This is my 3rd year on the committee, 2nd year serving as president. We wanted to put some faces to the committee. Thank you.
There you go.
So we have our officers up there, and then this here is Jonna Taylor. She is I couldn't do anything without her, trusty sidekick. So,
That's sweet. Is that Squeak up there?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, I thought I
And
saw
Squeak the guinea
yeah.
pig. He's in this year's picture too. So we've got a lot of great people on our team. It's really fun to work with so many people from so many buildings. There's just don't get a lot of that opportunity, and so through this committee, we're able to meet once a month and talk about so many things. So that next slide shows all of our other building representatives, and we have 3 representatives for most buildings, and every building is represented on the committee so that every building has a voice on that committee. What is a PDC? Ultimately, what we boil down to is we support teachers. We support that idea of lifelong learning through procedures and structures, getting those state funds spent in ways that are going to push teachers to be their best every day. By teachers being their best, we're supporting students. So what we do is we ensure that we provide PD opportunities that meet all teachers' specific needs. Different teachers teach different areas, they're going to have different needs. We also ensure that staff is aware of how to access those needs and request those. We provide in-house training and professional development once a year. And then we collect data and measure our success through staff surveys and polling to see where we need to go with our focuses, what kind of training we need to provide, what development our staff needs. We update our handbook every year and try to make it the best we can. So here's our latest updates to our handbook. Before any staff member requests professional development, we're having them partner with their building administration and pitch their professional development to them first. After they've pitched it and talked about it with their administration, then they submit a PD request. We've also updated some policies to ensure funding is spent equitably across it. So we've added the policy that staff that have attended the same professional development event multiple years in a row will take that case by case to see if funds allow for that person to go again or if we need to send someone else as a representative to that event. We've also split our mentor-mentee coordinator role into 2 separate roles now. So we have a K-5 mentor-mentee coordinator and then a 6 through 12, so secondary. This helps facilitate new state guidelines that our schools provide the BTAP training, which is our beginning teacher program. And then we also have added a new option for professional development. So we've made a new request policy and procedures for that where teachers can ask experts to come in and watch them and provide feedback. Typical PD has teachers go out and participate in workshops and things, but this pulls experts into the building and allows them to watch and give specific feedback. So we've developed policies for that. This year, we've already had a lot of people using those funds for a lot of learning opportunities. 8 learning events have gone through that process and been approved. All sorts of content, specific instruction for teachers to MMEA, the Gifted Association of Missouri, several conferences that teachers are going to and learning things and bringing that back to the district. We also have supported our mentor-mentee coordinators through different events, and those new teachers, we've had an instructional panel. We've had the mixer, and then the panel will be held in November. Just getting those newer teachers talking with those who have a few more years experience, making sure they're confident in what they're doing, and we're just learning from each other and collaborating and providing those opportunities that way. We're also in the works is our district PD day, and so we will have that January 5th. We take the surveys that we've sent out from last year, do lots of analyzing over that, lots of discussion. We collaborate with our administrators and Dr. Garver, and we will make a plan that's going to best meet the needs of the teachers in our district so that we can best support students. And how you guys can help us ensure that we have PD funds available yearly. Also support our goals as individual learners and district learners, so be up to date on the different goals that we're trying to focus on. Attend professional development meetings when possible, and continue to support committee members through our stipends to
Incentivize.
membership and participation in our committee.
You guys are a lot more intimidating than middle schoolers and fifth graders. Do you guys have any questions for us? That's a little snapshot of what we do. But
Thank you for taking on the extra time and energy and effort to be leaders in the area of professional development. It's very important.
Thank you.
And Heather, you're a much better public speaker than your father. And you can
I don't
tell him.
shake as bad as he does.
Appreciate your leadership, and this team continues to try and be in a growth mindset of looking at how do we improve and adjust, and you can see evidence by some of the changes they've made to their handbook this year. So thanks for your leadership. Appreciate it.
Thank you both.
Thank you all for your
Thank
support.
you, ladies.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right, brings us to board
Okay, moving on to board governance. I made a note here because I didn't want to forget that one of our board members recently added to his family. Mr. Legan and his better half, Macy, had an addition. You want to tell everybody about that addition?
Yep, so we were blessed, I guess the night of our last board meeting, in the middle of the night, had two twin identical boys, Knox and Cruz, and they're doing really well. We got to come home about a week ago, got them home, and I'm probably getting a little more sleep than Macy is, but it's been a joint effort, of course, with two of them, and older kids are loving it, and so we'll have another couple liberators in the future coming this way.
Drew and I have been chatting a little bit. My oldest daughter had twins in July, so we've had some discussion back and forth about the twin thing, and I actually get to go meet them on Saturday. I'm going to Boston on Saturday to meet the twins, so it'll be a unique experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, congratulations to the Legan family. Nothing else under board governance other than our monthly focus on learning, and we'll quickly have a brief discussion about that. This month's question for our board is, how has education, specifically learning, changed since you were in school? Think about that for a minute. How has education, learning, changed since you were in school? My input on that, partly coming from an educator, is I believe when I was young, there wasn't a lot, it didn't seem like there was a lot of responsibility placed on the teacher other than content delivery, whereas over the past several decades in particular, I think teachers have upped their game in regard to teaching differently to meet student needs, and we all know that student needs have risen. In particular, I don't remember having a lot of cooperative type learning experiences when I was a kid in school. I certainly don't remember many formative assessments. It seemed like it was just, I'm teaching you, and there will be a test on this day, and you take it, and how you do is how you do, and it's all on you, the student. Whereas now I think our teachers, we have evolved into a more progressive checking on student performance, and hopefully interventions are taking place that are helping students that maybe aren't reaching the mark, and teachers and students sharing that responsibility of the outcome at the end. Have those learning goals been met? And I feel like teachers today have a lot more tools in their toolbox than many moons ago when I was in school. So that's mine. Any thoughts on that? Now, Brad, you can't talk about electricity coming into play here, okay, Brad? So that's off the table.
No, we finally got bathrooms indoors. That was
indoor
great.
bathrooms.
No, but I'll tell you what, back in the day when I was in school, there was no multimedia. You didn't have Chromebooks, you didn't have televisions, you didn't have, the iPhones or the Androids. We had none of that. We had the blackboard, we had the teacher instruction, we had our books, and that was really it. And so things have really changed over the last, let's see, I've had my 54th high school reunion, so.
For me, it was the advent of alternative schools. Back in the 80s, you didn't see a lot of those. There was no substitute for traditional education. We didn't have a whole lot of non-traditional programs, and so I have a social studies, social science degree in education, and I spent 26 years in an alternative school. So those are programs that may have been beneficial back in the 80s, but are highly beneficial now to where we can reach students of all ages in non-traditional ways and still get them the same type of education or close to the same style of education. So,
Yeah, good point. Thanks for sharing that. Anyone else?
Sure, I'll share. With 30 years in education, a lot of things changed during those years and in my lifetime, but probably social and emotional well-being of students. There's been a big swing in that, big difference, even when I started teaching to where I ended up teaching, and the needs of students changed drastically, and through the COVID phase, of course, also. I also would say that I've seen a big change in vocational education and career and technical education. It's been a full circle.
It has.
And the reputation of that has changed. The preparation of our kids has changed as far as for the future. I always believed as a high school teacher it was a dressing ground for the future, and we just overlooked that. Sometimes we just pushed the core, and that was it. We didn't talk about what are you going to do with this, And so I see a big swing in that. And our programs at Bolivar are kudos to the Bolivar staff. I mean, we have some great programs to get kids out there exploring what they want to do and stuff. So I've seen that as well. And then with the PLC work that school communities are doing, also teachers collaborate more. I was 21 when I started teaching, and I was thrown into a classroom with 36 kids in a city school. I was from a small town. Yeah, I'm lucky I made it. And there's a lot more collaboration now with teachers and professional development and through PLCs where they collaborate with each other. A lot more professionalism, sharing teaching methods and stuff, which has changed a lot too.
Yeah, that would have helped me so much. My first year was like yours.
Yes.
I
was underprepared.
We were underprepared, weren't we?
Yes.
Kind of piggyback on two things. I mean, technology as well, and the sense of AI. I still don't understand AI, and I can't imagine how our teachers can, grade and use it for good in some things, but then also students making sure they're not using it. And then also just with the reset rooms, and been neat to see. I know several board meetings ago, or back last year, got to see, how that we're able to reach those kids and just get them back to where they're comfortable in the classroom again in a positive way, and need that we have in some buildings.
When I started teaching in the 90s, the shift was everyone's going to college. By golly, every student's going. And I remember at the time thinking, that's a nice goal to have, but it doesn't feel right. I have kids in my classes that college is not for them. College is not for everybody. And I'm so glad we've shifted away from that. We are going to prepare every kid who wants to go to college to be the best they can be. But some kids are going to go down a different path, and we're going to support them too. And I love where we're at today. I love where we're at today. I really do. So, well, thank you, everybody, for engaging in that. Okay, Dr. Methvin, we're moving on to strategic planning.
Yeah, and I'll just to my 2 cents on everything that was shared is a lot of times public school gets painted in a corner as never evolving, and I think we just shared a lot of things that have changed for the better with public schools over the last 20, 30 years, and really it's been exponential over the last 10 years even, and so just kudos to people that are willing to take up that charge and what I think is the most noble profession in the world of becoming a teacher, and help to support kids and make sure they're ready when they leave here. So on strategic planning, we've got Chelsea Aberdan with our district financial planning update is not here, and Mike Pitts is going to get that update, and then we'll actually, Mike, if you want, we can go ahead and roll straight from that into the rest of your report, so we don't have you up and down and up and down. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
In the area of finance, quarter number 1 is in the books. I'd just like to give you a couple of noteworthy takeaways about the first quarter's financial report. That report includes our first full payroll. We do that in September. It kicks off our payroll cycle for the year. Also, a lot of our spending this quarter went toward equipment and capital projects, mostly related to our ongoing bond work. We also made our first round of debt payments, and the next one will come in February. September through November typically are lower revenue months for us, since most of our local funding comes in around January and February. Finally, I want to also add that we continue to be careful and deliberate with our budget and spending. We're always looking for ways we can be more efficient while maintaining a high level of service. We regularly review our systems and processes to make sure we're getting the most value out of every dollar we spend. That concludes this month's financial report.
And Chelsea obviously was not available to join us tonight with a change in meeting date, but she also just wrapped up her first quarter meetings with principals and directors, or maybe is currently in the process, looking at budgets for each building and each department, and really making that a point of emphasis as we work to ensure that we have clarity on our current resources, what upcoming expenses that we have, and that we're planning ahead with an eye towards making sure that we're maximizing the resources that we have. But that's an important part of that process that we have in place to, throughout the course of the year, find opportunities where we can gain efficiencies as well. So, and again, using the resources to the greatest extent possible.
We'll move into capital projects update. Brody's going to pop up a picture of our Liberator Park project. It's our new building over there. It's essentially complete. We have the keys to it. We did a final walkthrough last Friday. Our facilities team is handling some touch-ups on floors and minor building systems, so we're finalizing that in-house. Roads Construction did a great job with this, and this facility will be fully operational very soon. Very happy with how that turned out. Moving on to the new Ag building, here's a picture of the big logo at the new Ag building. It's now conditioned, and painting has begun on interior block walls. Drywall work is underway, and paving has been completed on the northeast side. The garage door has been installed, and crews are finalizing the detention basin.
One question on that, Mike. Somebody did ask me, is there going to be an awning across the, I can't remember, the sidewalk there as well?
Yes, that's in the scope of work, yes.
Perfect.
Moving on to the BIS, BES additions. At that location, I don't have a picture, sorry. We're busy getting the roof on so the buildings can be dried in. Bar joists and decking are being set in all areas over there. But once again, once that roof is complete, then interior progress can move much more quickly. The final project is the ECLC project. It does follow a little bit of a different funding pattern, and we're moving into the next major phase. Concrete work is scheduled to begin October 27th, with rebar delivery any day now, if it wasn't delivered today. The metal building is scheduled to arrive at the end of November, and that's going to be a key milestone at ECLC. Any questions about the projects? I have a couple of safety and security updates. Our safety committee is now in place. Our first meeting is Friday, October 31st. I'll be sending out an agenda Monday. It will include updates from key stakeholders, and then we'll have a couple of items for a group discussion. We will look at key priorities, some of the initiatives included in Senate Bill 68, bullying prevention and response, the Raptor reunification process, and things like bus safety, doors, and cameras. We have two board members, Brian and Brad, who are part of the committee, and we're grateful that they will join us for the safety committee. Nursing and health services. Our school nurses have taken the lead with the safety initiative in Senate Bill 68. They've developed a cardiac emergency response plan. They've really helped us organize the Stop the Bleed training, and they've strengthened CPR readiness. Aaliyah has worked closely with Scott over at the high school to standardize our AEDs in the strategic location, and the nursing team will provide an update at the next safety committee meeting. I want to mention the BMS drop-off. The morning drop-off at BMS is now much safer and more organized than it's ever been. I'm proud of the work they've done over there. Cars are no longer parking or stopping on Jackson Street, letting their kiddos cross traffic to go into school. Most families use the lot by the FEMA building for drop-off. This has dramatically improved traffic flow and safety. Dr. Campbell, Jason Ingold, and our SROs have done outstanding work to get this organized and supporting families through this transition. And again, it is a lot safer over there. I'm proud of the work they've done. I want to conclude the night with employee health insurance review. We are continuing to work hard on our health insurance arrangement and the upcoming bid process. Our goal is to provide strong benefits for our employees at the most cost-effective way. Right now, we are in a very strong, active listening process, getting input from other districts and consultants, and most importantly, listening to our own staff and committees. This feedback is shaping how we move forward in the process. We are finalizing our health insurance review team. It includes staff representatives and administrators and board members. We'll review the current plan, evaluate proposals, and bring a recommendation to the board for approval at either the February or March meeting. So President Ron, I would ask you tonight for 2 board members to serve on that committee.
I know. I personally would be interested in doing that. I've seen that unique change take place and got some background there. Who else on our group here would be interested? Lynn? Sure. That's something you'd like to be interested in? Okay. Well, why don't you consider Lynn and I 2 that would like to join that committee and be involved in the health insurance.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ron. We'll start soon. And that concludes my report. I'm happy to take questions.
Any questions for Mike?
Thank you, Mike. All right, so it brings us to our academic update with Dr. Garber.
Yes. All right, a couple things I'm going to give a quick update on. First of all, about our federal programs. This is our desk monitoring year for our title funds. So we're in the process of uploading all required documents, making sure we are in compliance with that. This week we hosted our fall Title I parent meetings at BPS and BIS. So big thanks to Mr. Shawless and Mrs. Miller for helping lead those meetings. They did a great job with those. You got to see the video that BIS highlighted already, showing just the great value that our title programs can offer our kids, some of the things that we partake in and utilize our parent and family engagement programs, professional development, tutoring and intervention, and learning materials and resources. So again, just a very valuable program. Very thankful that we're able to utilize that to benefit our students. Our next PD Day coming up is on Friday, October 31st. We have a variety of things happening across the district on that day. First of all, supporting our district priority of positive and safe learning environments. We have training from the Child Advocacy Center at the middle school and high school on that day. We have a behavior consultant from the Agency for Teaching, Leading, and Learning, providing training for our elementary buildings. And as Mike mentioned, we do have our district safety committee meeting and starting some valuable work on that day as well. Supporting our quality Tier 1 instruction and PLCs, we have letters training continuing on that day. Cohort 2 will be completing Unit 7. We have follow-up training for Benchmark, which is our ELA resource in our elementary buildings, and then a variety of other activities involving utilizing the 15-day challenge, unit design, proficiency scales, RTI cycles, and this other curriculum and assessment work. So a lot going on that PD Day. Also this week we hosted our fall parent-teacher conferences, and those have gone really well. Just a great opportunity to engage with our parents and provide student updates on progress so far this year. So just a big thank you to our principals and our teachers, all of our building staff for the time and effort and energy they've invested in those conferences this week. It's gone really, really well. And the last thing I was going to mention just quickly, next week on Monday the 27th, our district APR becomes available. And that is our annual performance report provided by DESE. So we look forward to getting that information and reviewing that and then sharing it as it becomes available. Any questions about any of that for me?
So next week.
Next week on Monday the 27th is when we get access to it. Thank you, Dr. Garber. That
Thank you,
concludes
Dr.
our
Garber.
CSIP updates.
does.
That's
It
right.
does.
Yeah, all of that work connecting directly back to our strategic plan.
Okay. Moving on, under review and discussion, each of you should have a copy of the proposed board policy AC in regard to student restroom and locker room usage. Look that over. If you have any thoughts, comments, suggestions on that, we will review that next month. If you do have any thoughts, please forward those to Dr. Methvin, and he can accumulate that information and begin working on that. Next would be policy updates to review to be voted on next month. Cheryl, are you ready? Here we go. Okay, we've got a bunch of them this month. EHBD is in regard to artificial intelligence. Drew, would you take that one for us? Policy GCPA in regard to RIF. RIF stands for reduction in force. So if the district were to need to no longer employ an individual, not because of a discipline matter, but because the need no longer existed. Did I explain that correctly? That's rare, but it could happen.
Which would typically be budgetary
reasons.
Yes.
So Drew, would you take those first two for us? Thank you. IGBA in regard to special education. Jill, would you take that one for us, please? JEC in regard to school admissions. Brad, would you review that one for us, please? Thank you. Cheryl, we're going to have JECA eligibility to enroll for Dan, as well as JFCA dress code for Dan. I assigned those two to him. Brian, I've got JFCJ weapons in school, if you would review that one, as well as JHDE behavioral threat assessments, if you don't mind reviewing those two. Lynn, JHDF, suicide awareness prevention, and JHG, reporting and investigating child abuse and neglect, if you wouldn't mind reviewing those two. And if I haven't missed any, Cheryl, I will take JG, student discipline, and JGF in regard to discipline reporting and records. If I made no mistakes, everybody was assigned at least one, and I didn't skip anybody, and even remembered Dan. Okay.
Nailed it.
Very good. All right. Moving on to superintendent's update.
Okay, well, I just want to say, you may know that October is National School Principals Month. And we've got some men and women in the back who, they don't have their capes on right now, but during the school day, they might as well have a cape on. And just do a fantastic job of leading our buildings. And this has been a very busy week with parent-teacher conferences every night this week, and then a board meeting tonight. But can't say enough about the leadership that they bring to our buildings and help to set the tone for collaboration and working together as a team to make sure that we do whatever it takes to set students up for success. So a big thank you to our principals and assistant principals across the district. Also, you know, some of the work, we continue to dig into the work of growing and improving as a professional learning community. And that's something that Bolivar has engaged in for many years, but this last 18 months, it's been exciting to see us continue to just want to go deeper with that work. And the culture of collaboration that's occurring, not just within grade levels or departments, but even between buildings, it just continues to be a point of strength for us as a district. And so big thanks to our team for engaging in that PLC work and really being focused on being collaborative, creating a culture where we are results oriented as well. And so digging into our data and using it for our next steps. So thanks for that work. And the evening meetings with parents this week has been just a great reminder of what a strong partnership we have with our families. And obviously it's not just about parent-teacher conferences, but all year long, the importance of close collaboration with families and working together to help make sure that their student is set up for success. And we appreciate the trust that families put in our schools and in the work that happens there every day. So again, just a kind of a culminating opportunity for us to get families in the building and show the great work that's happening and look ahead for what's next as we support their students. And the last thing I just wanted to hit on was a legislative update. We continue to keep close tabs on what's happening at Jefferson City at the state level with our funding formula work. Task force is digging into looking at restructuring that foundation formula, and they are really just getting off the ground with some of that work. But we know that public schools are not the only voice at the table. There's also a private school faction as well, and obviously it's up to us to make sure that we're telling our story. And so that'll have implications for us as a district as we move forward, and we'll be closely monitoring that. And as we start to see some themes evolve around what changes might be on the horizon for us, we'll certainly keep everybody updated. But something for us to watch closely over the next few months.
Thank you.
You bet.
Very good, very good. Well, in honor of our administrators are here, and we want to thank them. We want to have a short board meeting for them, so we're going to make that happen. So we've got a few things to vote on, and then we're going to say goodnight. So, but thank you for what you do. I kind of have an idea of what you do sometimes, and few know it all. So thank you all for going the extra mile and doing what you do. We appreciate it more than you know. So thank you very much. Okay, action items. First, we have to consider approval of the transportation ridership reports.
So moved.
Brad, do we
Second.
have a second? Lynn, thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Next, a motion to approve the 25-26 Professional Development Handbook.
So moved.
Lynn, thank you. Brian on the second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Motion to approve the volunteer capacity agreement as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Brian on the second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Motion to approve the extra duty volunteer services letter as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Jill, thank you. And I think I'll go with Brian on that second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. And last, motion to approve the athletics contest workers' pay schedule as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Brian on the second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much. Well, thank you everybody for attending this evening. We are 6 minutes past 7 p.m. I'd say that's pretty good. So, record. We like when we can be meeting, and see you all next month.